Okay, you can go ahead and start. All right, so this is, I'm not a huge college football fan, but I do enjoy it. But I want to tell you why I'm responsible for the Oklahoma Sooners losing the 2008 BCS game. This story begins, oddly enough, in Denver. You're like, how does that happen? And this is in 2006. So I was finishing school, and I was like, what am I going to do with myself? So I said, well, I knew I was going to go to graduate school. So like, what am I going to do for a year? Worked at a special needs summer camp, bounced around in Europe for a while, and I moved to Denver and worked at this place called Campus Speak. And you're wondering, what is Campus Speak? Campus Speak is a college speakers agency. They bring in speakers who talk about, that get sent to colleges and they get paid to talk about mental health, alcohol abuse, hazing, student activities, the things that affect college students. Well, so I was doing marketing for them, which that's not the story what the story's about, but I was living in this townhouse with 3 people, and one of them was Jen, who was from North Carolina or New Jersey, however you want to look at it. One was Thorn, and his actual name was Anthony, but he liked to tell us his stripper name was Thorn Daddy. He was this little guy from Natchitoches, Louisiana. And then Leanne, which I've never particularly liked people from California. They always think they're smarter than everyone else and they're more cultured. And I'm like, hey, I lived overseas. I've been all over the world. She fit all the California stereotypes. Loud, obnoxious, had funny eating habits. I didn't really hang out with Thorn or Leanne, but I hung out with Jen while I was there. We became friends because part of it was we were both planning to continue on to graduate school after this. So this was just this stop in Denver was just kind of a brief moment. So I went to Mo State for after Missouri, and she went to Cincinnati. And then when we were down there, I went to Oklahoma and she went to Florida. And that was both their first years there. And it turned out it was looking like Oklahoma and Florida were gonna make the national championship in November. And we're like, hey, we can see each other for 2 years. Why don't we go to the game? And sure enough, as we got closer, Oklahoma and Florida ended up in the national championship. And I said, hey, I'm coming down all that way, because it was in the Orange Bowl, so it was already in Florida. Why don't I come down to Gainesville and we'll hang out for New Year's Eve? Come a little early. Well, I did. And do you want to guess so we went out for New Year's Eve in some place in Gainesville. I don't remember where it was. But do you want to guess who we saw in Gainesville on New Year's Eve?
Tim Tebow.
Wow, the other of us didn't even know. So sure enough, we ran into Tim Tebow, St. Tebow. And this is Jen, by the way. So I don't remember who took this photo, but yeah, we ran into Tim Tebow. And so I'm sitting there messaging all my people in Oklahoma saying, hey, I'm 6 feet from Tim Tebow. And they're all messaging back, hey, you should break his leg so he can't play. And I was like, well, he was flanked by a bunch of offensive linemen. And so I didn't do that, but because I would have ended up in jail, I'm sure, for life in Gainesville, Florida jail for breaking Tim Tebow's leg. So I didn't, but the next week, the game happened, and you probably don't remember that game because you weren't there and it was a while ago, but it was pretty even in the first half, but then in the second half, Tim Tebow, probably one of the greatest college football players of all time, took over the game and they won. So I could have broken his leg, but I didn't. I don't know, he's Superman. I don't know if I really could have broken his leg. But that's why I'm responsible for Oklahoma losing the 2008 BCS game, the national championship. And that's my speech.